Hello, Grandma.
Uncle, hi, Nico.
Hi, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. For you?
I'm doing well. Do you have some time right now to talk?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah.
How about you?
Work has been pretty busy, which is good. But,
Well, then you're busy. You're challenged.
right.
Is that the right word for that?
I am definitely challenged and, I'm starting to get more responsibilities. So, time management, working on different projects. But, yeah, but one of them is, a little bit tedious. It's like just double checking other people's work.
But you must sign off on it, right?
Essentially, yes. But, I mean, all this information was put in, last year, over 6 months ago. And, yeah, and the first couple I was doing, so it's pretty much checking every single welding procedure.
Wow.
Right, which is a lot, and it's all the welders. So there's only 30-ish welders that are active right now at our company, but each of them have around 10 different welding procedures. Like each of them is for a different type of process, right? So there's over 300 that I'm going line by line, double checking everything, which is a little bit monotonous at times, and it's kind of easy to miss stuff because I'm going pretty quick, because if not, it'll take me forever.
So there's how many welders are in that company?
Yeah, so about 30 active welders. So we're just focused on all of the active welders right now, but in the future we might have to go back just to have a full continuity of all of the work that we've done. But the priority is just the active ones right now.
Well, your boss is getting a lot done. He's getting his place in shape, right?
Right, yeah, because their usual hires of a design engineer, they would only just be practicing design, which is like my other projects that I'm working on. But they hired me to, do both, so I'm kind of splitting my training time. And,
Well, it's giving you practice. It's,
yeah.
something you can put in your resume.
Yeah, definitely. This was, at my old job, I don't have experience doing this because there was a specific guy who was in charge of all these welder qualifications. Because, at Puget Sound, we have over 200 welders. So it's just a lot of paperwork and, making sure everyone's, certified.
Doing the right thing.
Exactly. And they have the tests to back them up. So I never really saw that side of it. But now it's a smaller company, so I'm having to oversee this side. So, yeah, I'm definitely learning a lot. And
I was interested. I was reading an article the other day about the door or the window that blew off that plane.
oh yeah,
Would that have welding information?
yeah, I did hear about that. It's the Boeing plane on Alaska.
Yeah.
I didn't hear, or I didn't really look into what the exact problem they determined was. I think they just attributed it to a lack of quality all around at Boeing. And yeah, so they had to ground some of those planes too. That was a whole thing.
Yeah, I read about that.
It could be welding, it could be anything, but quality, welding is a big part of quality assurance. And
Sure.
yeah, that's why. I mean, I can see how something like that could slip through, or this is only a small company, and it's not perfect, but I could see the problems being elevated at like a larger company if they're not dealt with at the beginning, or like when they're happening. They could just bubble up and hide it under the covers, and stories like that make me even more concerned to do like the best I can do, because in the end, like, knock on wood, but if one of our vessels fails, like, it could be me that they're talking about on television. And it was my fault that I didn't do the best that I could. So I'm taking it with that approach, where if I have questions, I'm not the last line of defense. I'm almost the last line of defense for welding, but there's this other certified weld inspector, and I bounce a lot of my ideas off of him, and a lot of the times we see eye to eye, and he's like, yeah, that's a good catch. So here, this is just an example, like a little example of one of the problems, where in the past, all these different weld procedures, they were marking them. If it didn't apply, they would put not applicable, even though it should be written down as like none. So even the words used have like a large impact on the end result, where the example is like a specific backing gas is not used, or it is used, we would just put not applies, but it always applies. And it's just making sure that they're doing it correctly in the future. And, it's just they had always been doing it wrong, or just putting none. If that makes sense a little bit. It's just, it's very tedious, and the words, oh no. Are you there, Grandma? Noli like ran over my phone. Hung up on her. Hello? Yeah, Grandma, I'm sorry. I think my Noli like ran over my phone and hung up on you.
Oh, I don't know, but hey, I got you again, so okay.
But
it's very interesting, the work you do. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, it is, and you wouldn't think it would be a lot, but I'm staying super busy on just making sure everything's right. So
good. Good. That's great. Well, how do you feel about the drive home and the drive to work? Is that changing your attitude toward that?
No, it's still pretty good right now for the most part. There is every day, once like every week maybe, where it's like, I wish I didn't have to be stuck in this traffic right now, but I am breaking it up with that one climbing gym that I joined.
Yeah.
And
yes. And how is that working out?
Yeah, it's really good. So I started going consistently this past week. I went twice, and starting to meet people, and just I really can see my improvement already in the past like week. Where when I was trying out the different gyms a month ago, I remember trying some of these like routes, these climbs, and thinking like, there's no way I can do this right now, or I wasn't strong enough. And then fast forward to this past week, I was able to do those climbs because they hadn't changed yet, and I was like, wow.
That's good. That's a feather in your cap.
Yeah, no, it feels good. It feels good, and there's a lot of really good climbers at the gym as well. So I'm learning a lot. And
are you doing any rope work?
I am, and that is generally where I do a lot of my time. I'm focusing a lot of my time now because that's where I want to highlight this for this summer. I want to do more ropes outside, and the only way to do that is if you train it. So that's why this gym has been so awesome, where the past 2 years I've been just doing bouldering, no ropes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I've always had the desire to do all the outside stuff, but with like the circumstances I was given in Seattle, that was the closest gym to me. You know, that was the one I was able to go to consistently, and I didn't have a car, so that's the only way I could keep me climbing. But now I have a car, and you know, it's not super out of the way on the way home. It maybe adds like 10 to 15 minutes more than the other gym, but I am so glad like I made the decision, because I am just improving so much more in the way I want to, because it's kind of like sprint versus long distance running. It's just like a different sport in the end, where those boulders are just 100 meter 200 yard sprints, because you try really hard in short increments, whereas the rope, all the rope is, you know, it's 3 times the height of a boulder, so you're having to do 3 times more climbing. So when you get to the top, you are barely hanging on, even though it's like an easier climb, but you're just more tired. So yeah, I've been learning a lot already, and I feel like I'm getting a lot better as well.
Well, now, do you have to get certified in that rope climbing?
Yeah, that's another great question. So this gym is like very mom and pop shop too, which I like about it. It's not like one of the big climbing gyms around here that charge $95 a month. This is only 50.
Yeah,
50.
It's a lot of showing.
Yeah, honestly. And this place is only $50 a month, so I'm saving money there, almost, double. And
if you feel you're getting quality, though, aren't you? Where you are.
I feel like I would pay $90 to go to this gym instead of 45.
Okay.
If the roles were switched, I would still be paying more, because I like this type of climbing more. And to go with the belay, I was asking, the people that work there. I was like, hey, do you offer any classes? And they gave me this someone's contact for the email, and I emailed her and said that me and Kayla were interested in doing a lead climbing class. Essentially, when you go to a gym, there is a rope. It's already like on the top of the wall, but how does it get to the top there? Someone has to put it up there, and that is pretty much what lead climbing is. It's climbing with the rope in your hand and putting it through all of the correct safety places, and then setting up an anchor at the top. And that is what outdoor climbing essentially is, where I'll have to take the rope with me to the very top, climb it safely, and then set up a top rope for everybody else to climb. So like when I take out Kayla and her friends, or Krista with his friends, it's just like they're in a gym environment and very safe. So there is a little more risk in the lead climbing, but that's why I want to train on it and learn how to be as safe as I can. And
well, sure, because when you set up that, and then they're going to come up in that, they have to trust that you're going to do it right.
Exactly. It's a lot of responsibility to know I'm doing it right. And there's so many levels to it, where I'm talking to you about, it's so much more endurance, and once you get to the top, you're already spent, exhausted. You have to have like the peace of mind to calm everything down and put up a correct anchor, make sure it's all safe. Even though you're mentally done, you still have to, this is the most important part. And I mean, all these things are just a part of why I love it all. So.
And after you anchor it on the top, then you have to do the things coming down.
Yeah, you have to rappel down, and I have a lot of experience with that from my mountaineering class. We did a ton of rappels, and it has been a while. You know, it's been over 6 months since I've done it, but I still got it in the back of my mind. I'm sure I can pick it up again. And yeah, so going back to the question about being certified, so this class that I'm signed up for, you have to be belay certified. So that's pretty much when someone's climbing, they're the one on the other side of the rope that makes sure that they don't fall. Like they're the ones keeping the rope tight. And I took that belay test this past week, and passed with flying colors, and I should, because I'm an instructor. And it's pretty much all the same ideas, and I passed. And yeah, so I emailed them. Kayla does not have the required 6 months of top rope experience, but we'll still go climbing together, and she still is showing an interest to this. It's just we're not going to be able to take this class together, but I'll be taking it by myself because I really want to focus on it for this summer, and I need to make sure I have it before the summer starts.
I'm glad you have this outlet, Nico, from your work. I'm glad you have this,
Yeah, me too. It really, I look forward to it every day. It doesn't feel like a workout. It's like, oh yeah, it's climbing day. And another way to get through the traffic, I'm listening to a lot of climbing focused podcasts to kind of get me psyched up and in the mood to want to train hard. And
are you riding your bike much?
What was that?
Are you riding your bicycle much?
I am not. It has been a little rainy, and that's not a good excuse, but when I try to do at least one day of cardio on the weekends, and it's mainly been running still, just because it's a little easier and more safe than riding when it's wet out. And
you did a lot more bike riding up in Seattle, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I mean, I was doing it every day, whereas here I haven't done it since the summertime, and I have been itching to get back on the bike. It's just, I need to get it tuned up. I need to make sure everything's all good before the spring, so I can just start riding.
You can just pick off, yeah.
Right. But also, I mean, I have a lot of other runs that I'm gonna train for. So,
I thought when we talked the last time, you were gonna sign up for going up on a mountain.
Yeah, you're right. So the tallest peak in Oregon is called Mount Hood, and it's a volcano that's only about an hour east from where we live in Portland. So every time I drive home on a clear day, I can see it because I'm coming from the west. So I've definitely been wanting to climb it for a while, and I went to a seminar to get all of the climbing, best climbing route information, and I finally reached out to my Seattle friends. We have this group chat, and I haven't, talked to them in over a year. So I said, hey guys, I'm planning to climb this Mount Hood in early summer. Let me know if you are interested. And I got 8 people to say that they are interested, which is a great turnout. Because I was thinking it would only be a couple people, but yeah, I'll be leading this climb, and it should be.
Well, they all know you.
Yeah, they all know me. This is all So the first year that I did my mountaineering class, this is that team, because we're all still really close. But yeah, so I'll have to put a trip plan together, which we learned in the class, which is pretty much, an Excel sheet. Like, here is everybody going on the climb, here's their contact info, here's their emergency contact info, are they allergic to anything, like are there any medical concerns, all this information. Here's the car that, they're carpooling in. Here is the plan that they're going up, and like they're gonna leave at midnight. We're gonna hopefully be at this point by 5 a.m. All this information where you send this to, like a team base, like someone who's not going on the trip, to make sure that if the team doesn't get back at the time that is expected, they will let like authorities know, like, hey, they're not back yet.
Yeah, and they have all the information in case somebody needs something, or
right, or we get lost or something. But like, this is all basic stuff for me now that we learned. But a lot of people don't know, like, you're supposed to do this. You can't just go climb everything. I mean, you can, but this is just the safest and best way to do it.
Sure, that's really the way to do it. Yeah.
Right, and I'll probably have to rent an Airbnb for everybody, because they're all coming from Seattle, and then I mean, it's not. We have a couple months to plan it all.
That's a lot of work on you too.
Yeah, but it's like, it's something that I want to do, and it's a way for me to see my friends, and it's a way for us to all hang out again. So that's what's cool about this sport. It's it's constantly driven by goals, and everyone that's wanted to say yes probably hasn't climbed Mount Hood yet, but it's been on their list, and it's up to me to be like, hey, I want to do this. This is what I'm doing. Who wants to come? And that's essentially what it is.
Oh, that's so interesting. Keep going and doing it. I know it takes a lot of work, a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Just not saying, hey, let's go up next weekend and all meet at 5 o'clock and that's it,
Right.
It's so much more.
Right. And you just kind of have to do it.
And you have to know if your people are good enough to do it.
Exactly. That's a huge thing in the sport, is just trust, where you can't really just trust any stranger that you meet at the gym. That is built in with time, like hanging out with them more and more, getting to know them, and then just I already have these relationships built up from the 4 months where we were every week seeing each other at class, every weekend going out into the mountains and practicing in snow, and we already have this baseline knowledge together, and I know who these people are, and I know that I can trust them.
And that's good. That that 8 people were interested in pursuing this trip.
Yeah, I think the team was like of 12 to 14 people, and almost half of them said, wow, this sounds awesome, let's do it. And I was surprised, but I'm really excited.
Kayla be going with you?
No, Kayla is not into the mountaineering side, and I'll say yet. She has expressed a little bit of interest, but like, I wouldn't want to take her up there, because she'd be a liability for us. She would make everyone else slower, and I'm not saying she's like out of shape. It's just she doesn't have that baseline knowledge like you were talking about. I mean, I had this, over 2 years of
of doing
training
it
and experience.
getting
Right.
better at the different skills. Yes.
Right. And no, she has expressed interest, and if we end up in Seattle, which, is our goal maybe in the next 5 years, one of the reasons is because I want to be more involved in that mountaineering class, and I want to, really dial in, go from junior instructor to, like senior instructor, and go up that rank. But maybe Kayla will take the class one of those years and then kind of start learning those skills.
Yeah. Well, now, how was your bachelor party?
Oh, it was a ton of fun. It was really good to see all those Camelot guys. I remember you met them. I think it was for like a new or was it like a Valentine's?
Yeah.
One year.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really good to see all of them because I hadn't seen them in over 2 years, and it was like 15 of us all in this cabin on the mountain. We were like a 10-minute walk from the base like chairlift. And yeah, it was a really fun time. I did like 2 days of snowboarding, and Christo and I grew up snowboarding and skiing, but I haven't been doing it the past couple years just because, it's expensive, and the only way to make it worth it is if you're doing it every single weekend. But I don't have time for that with all this other, mountaineering stuff that I was focused on. But going out those 2 days, I really fell in love with it again, and I'm gonna try to get a snowboard and maybe get a pass for next season because I still have the skills. It's kind of like riding a bike where.
Well, I think you have well, I'm trying to say the basic skills which you use in different sports, like in climbing and in all this, that your muscles are developed in certain ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's good, Nico.
Yeah, you're right, and I still kind of have it, in the back of my mind from when we were snowboarding when we were little, and yeah, it felt like very, very natural for me, and it felt like I hadn't stopped snowboarding, but I definitely want to keep doing it and add it to the climbing regimen or my like range of sports, right? Because I'm gonna climb Mount Hood this year, hopefully, and let's say
you're going to be leading the group.
And I'm going to be leading the group, and but I'll be doing it, like the easiest way this first time, just so I know I've never been up there. I'm just going to go the easiest way, but maybe next year, once I have all the snowboarding practice in my if I'm training snowboarding over the winter, then I can, climb up it and then snowboard down, like, one of the harder black diamond areas. Because, I was able to do some black diamonds in Breckenridge in Colorado. So, yeah, there's just levels, and people do it, have their own, book of the way that they want to climb. And, some people don't think, it doesn't count if I snowboard down because I'm like cheating or weird stuff like that. But it'd be cool to like say, oh yeah, I've climbed up Mount Hood this way and I snowboarded down it this way this one time, and so it's all kind of related, which is weird. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to get better and better.
Very, very interesting. That's how did you like the book?
I liked it a lot. So I'm only like 60% of the way through, and that's actually another way that I've been treating the commutes. I found this on my audiobook app, and
Okay.
yeah, Code Red, this Mitch Rapp book. I'm actually enjoying this, like more than the past couple books we've read.
Well, I think it's very interesting because I've read all, I've read most of them,
Mhm.
and I mean he's the head of it.
Right.
And he now Vince Flynn died.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's dead, and Kyle Mills has taken over writing for him.
Mm.
He's written for Ludnum. He's written for he's written for a lot of different people. In other words,
Mhm.
and I think. I think he has a good twist on a lot of this stuff. How far did you get?
So he just got captured by the Russians, and he is being transported from the base in Syria to Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, and
He went through the Israel stuff.
yeah, so they got through. He almost escaped, and then they turned him back over because politicians, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one because first I think there's a lot more action.
Yeah.
The Collector, it was entertaining, but it built up to that one heist, and there were no gunshots or anything, and no killings, and in this book, I think within the first chapter, it was I shoved a knife right through this guy's head, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah. yeah. He's quite, and he has quite a. As you get into the second part of the book, he has quite a team. Guys that he has worked with in the past. He will call back, and they'll all be with him.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he kind of called Kennedy, who was
Irene.
Yeah, she's cool too, and I like the enemy too, the villain, Losa. He's kind of just this, bad mob boss, but he's still very very smart and strategic. But Mitch Rapp staying ahead of him, saying he's the Irene Kennedy of the criminal world. So what would she do if she had a disposable asset? And he
he is really a disposable asset
for Losa, right? It was
yeah.
And then even though he had a debt to pay, he's I paid my debt once you turned on me. Which makes sense. And yeah, it was cool. He bought free phones instantly, and I was like, what, why do you need 3 of them? But he used all of them because it's one call destroy, one call destroy. And
it can't be traced.
Right, it was one call, it was traced by Losa, so he planted it on the dude, the random guy that looked like him. and then
that guy got killed.
Yeah, he followed him just to see if Losa was gonna turn on him. Yeah, he's just really smart and always thinking ahead, which is cool.
Yeah, and toward the end, he does a lot more of it. He really you have to think, because he thinks ahead, and Irene Kennedy really has his back. She she kind of paves the way in a lot of things. Plans to do, because he's paid his. Don't you think he feels he's paid his debt?
Yeah, definitely.
And but I think he just can't let that lay. he's going to have to finish what was started.
Right, yeah, because the more he found out while he was like talking to that Russian Semenov was, oh, he's not going for the Europeans, he's going for all the West. Like, he wants to use Losa to get in through Mexico and not even make money off this drug. He just wants to cause chaos in America. And once he sees that, he's like, okay, I gotta stop this.
Yeah,
because it's a bigger problem now.
He really could have walked away from it now.
He could have, but I think after seeing it, and yeah, maybe he has a debt to America.
Well, he had a very strong
patriotism,
even though,
right?
Yeah.
Where he saw the problem and he thinks he can fix it, so might as well try.
Yeah, well, it's good because he does fix it. Yeah.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it if you enjoyed the fact of the planning of the 3 phones. You'll enjoy it more as he does other things too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
well, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying that. He has a lot of other ones, but this is the one. I mean, the one before he talks about, he has a home in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I think in one of the first few books, his family was killed, his kid and his wife.
Oh wow.
And then this person that he's married to now, she's a lot younger than he.
Claudia, and she has a daughter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he met her through, she was working for a criminal.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. Well, I hope you continue to enjoy it.
Yeah, I will.
That kitty.
Oh, the kitty's doing great. She is getting a little more rambunctious, I'll say.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, just a lot of energy, so we have to play with her more before she gets tired, which is okay.
Does she get into things? Is she mischievous?
Yeah, she's always climbing on anything that she can get onto. But
did she use her? Did she scratch? Did she have nails?
She does. Yeah, they're pretty sharp, but we try to trim them every couple weeks because they hurt. But also, she's not scratching too much.
He doesn't go to the furniture and scratch it.
Oh, she does, but it doesn't make any markings or anything like that. And we also do have a scratching post for her.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah. She sometimes uses that, which is nice. But, yeah, things are good.
Oh, my. Well, you lead quite a neat life. You really do, Chris, Nico, so enjoy it. Now, today it is kind of very bleak here. The sun will come out, and then about 20 minutes later, it'll be snowing, a little snow. There's a cold front coming down from Canada.
Oh, wow.
And they say we're going to get snow, but it's not going to last. They like saving the time at all here.
Right, yeah. The daylight savings hit me a little hard this morning.
I think today is one of the early moving days for your folks and Christo. I think Chuck has rented a van, and I think they're starting to move their stuff over to Trafalgar Lane.
Oh, yeah, because Christo's going to move back into the office.
And then they're going to have to move Christo's things, because he has, I think, to the end of the month. They're going to have to move his things into the apartment. And he wants some things that Grandpa and I had. Like he wants the dining room rug. He wants that in his apartment, and he wants one of the leather chairs. So he's thinking about what he wants to put there. I think that'll be nice because that's a big area, and he can kind of make it in little different areas, conversation places, and I think that's good.
Oh yeah.
So they're getting ready. They're going to move some stuff today. So plus watching the soccer game. I think Manchester played today.
Yeah, I watched that this morning as well.
And and then I think they're going out to eat tonight.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, they even invited me, but I'm home going through my files and pitching everything after 2023. Anything after that, before that, I'm pitching.
Oh wow.
With the house. All
Right.
the bills and all that stuff. I already saved all that stuff. I'm gonna pitch everything. Just save the last 2 years.
That's good though that you need to do that.
Yeah. So that's that. The other day
Mm-hmm.
I was, using my this roll walker, wheels.
Right.
I do that all the time because they've discovered that I have what's called drop foot. I have drop foot on both my feet. In other words, I'm walking and all at once my foot will go down. And it has a tendency to throw me off balance. That's how you fall. So we're working on that, but my physical therapy is just over. So I don't know. We need to we're going to look into a brace to support so my feet don't drop, because when my feet drop, then that's when I can fall.
Are they like on your ankle? Yeah. Are the supports on your ankle? Okay.
So that was me. The other day though, I was, I use my walker all the time. Mm-hmm. I have it with me all the time. I don't walk anywhere without it. Anyway, I was in the kitchen getting something, and all at once, thank goodness, I was close to counters, and my walker gave away. The whole front part of my walker collapsed.
What?
The one wheel and the whole front came apart. And I thought, oh my word, I was just so thankful that I wasn't out someplace just with my walker, because that could have thrown me,
Yeah.
So I found the piece and I tried to stick it back up, but I couldn't. And then I found the attachment, but I couldn't do it. So, I'm here. So I called and I said my walker, and they said, we'll be right up. And they came up, fixed it in 5 minutes, So,
wow.
It does have advantages, and I'm going to use them too, because that's what I'm paying for too.
Right. Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah.
That's what they're there. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And I gotta realize that, and just be sure to know that they're there.
Yeah.
So that's about all.
Yeah. How?
Here. How's Kayla doing? Did she had some pretty rough courses or something, or tests that she was getting ready to take?
Yeah, I think last time we talked, she was gearing up for a couple exams that week, but she ended up doing well on them. And right now, she's actually studying for her next set of exams, but she's almost done. almost like spring break is in a month, so that's like her last like big exam schedule, because after this she will be starting her rotations where she's shadowing other pharmacists at different hospitals.
Okay. Will she be close by, or will they be in a radius of like 50 miles?
All of the one she requested to be in Portland, so they're all within maybe a 20-minute radius, which helps out, because yeah, we don't have to move or anything after just moving. But yeah, that's another thing we'll have to figure out with the cat, because Kayla's been home, for most of the day. She'll go to class, but then come home and she's able to feed her. But we just ordered this automated food dispenser where we can put some dry food in, and we'll feed her wet food in the morning and then dry food when we're both gone on the automated timer, and then we'll be back for dinner to feed her.
Oh, I'll tell you, you guys have it down. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we're trying, but that's another thing with the cat being nice. We don't have to always be here to take them out or to feed them. We can just do this. Cats are a little more low maintenance, which I'm sure you know because of your cat experience when you were younger.
There's a cat across the hall. There's a couple that lives in the apartment across sort of catty corner from me. And they have a cat, a beautiful cat called River. And the cat likes to go to the halls, but she doesn't put harness or anything on it. But the cat, if the cat sees my apartment door open, she'll try to scoot over to try to get in.
Yeah.
She's very, very curious.
Right.
Her name is River. Oh, she's pretty.
Oh.
And then there's one of the cleaning girls that comes by to clean the apartments. Guess how many cats she has? She lives on a farm.
Maybe like 5 cats.
27.
27?
Yes.
Well, it kind of makes sense because it's like a whole litter, and then they just keep having litters. So that is crazy, though.
She gets them all fixed.
Oh, really?
When she gets them. And she said she has a big house, a big farmhouse, and she just lets them over.
That's insane.
Over the house. And she takes them to the bed. But, my word, 27 cats. That gets expensive.
That's a little too much. I feel like 2 cats is a little too much.
Yep.
That's funny, though.
Yeah. Well, then they were talking about, they say, some cats are, I don't know, the girls were talking, and they said some cats are kind of like roamers. That like to roam, and then some cats just like to stay with you. But they have names for those.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the names.
I don't know what yours would be.
I think she is definitely on the curious side, but because she's young, I think she still gets scared like easily. But like we did start harness training her, so she's able to wear the harness without, messing around with it, which is a good first step. So then last weekend we took her out into the hallway of our apartment complex, and it took her a while to get down the hall. Because, she's curious. Like, she'll stop at every door because she hears noises that she's never heard before behind. It's like, what's going on in there? And we couldn't get her on the elevator yet because that was a little scary. But...
Would you have a leash?
Yeah, we have a leash on her harness, yeah. And yeah, so sometimes in the morning when I'm leaving for work, she'll just like bolt out of the door because she is confident now in the hallway. But yeah, it's just like baby steps to like get her into the elevator. We'll go downstairs just to make her kind of feel comfortable, and then slowly work our way outside. But it's been really fun to try to teach her this.
Yeah, well, it takes time. It takes time, Nico.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and we took her to the vet the other day because we got her off of Craigslist, which it worked out, but you can't really trust what they did. Like, they said that they did vaccines and deworming, but we're just gonna do all of it ourselves just to make sure she's okay. And yeah, she got her blood taken and one vaccine, so she was like super tired the rest of the day, and you can definitely see her personality. I feel like we can recognize it now, but she was like, yeah, not herself, which is fine and understandable because she didn't have blood, and the vaccine was probably making her lethargic. So,
Yeah.
but then the next day she's right back to normal, and you know.
Curious as ever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Really fun.
Oh, that's good. Wow.
And yeah, my parents are gonna be here in a couple weeks too.
Yes, they're coming out for this wine.
Wine tour, tasting, wine area, because it's actually really close to where I live, or where I work. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, like when I drive to work, I always pass by wineries. Kayla and I have been to a few, but I didn't know like how big of a draw Oregon, this valley, was for wine.
Huh.
It's like wine country.
Well, do you know the Denopolis?
Yes, yeah, I went to St. Charles with their oldest kid.
Okay, well, how about, the Weiss locals will be on too.
Oh, wow, yeah. So I don't know who all is going. My dad just said that there would be like 10 couples total or something like that, which is a lot. I didn't know their group was that big. But they got...
Yeah, that's quite a lot. That's more than a car would, yeah.
Right, yeah. So they got a big Airbnb in this area called McMinnville in Dundee. Sorry, I work in Newburgh, which is like 15 minutes away from McMinnville, which is like a funny, coincidence. And my dad said that there is a wine tour on Sunday, because I'll be working all week. I'm not going to be able to hang out. But that Sunday, they invited us to go on the tour with them. And so, yeah, which will be really nice to, see all the other parents I haven't seen in a while, and yeah, kind of catch up with them and see how. Yeah.
Kayla's going along too. Good.
Yeah, Kayla, we're gonna be leaving early Sunday morning probably to get to their Airbnb. It's like over an hour away.
Oh, okay.
And then
that'll be a day trip. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure the exact plans, but they might still have the Airbnb that night, so maybe we'll stay at the Airbnb, or we'll just have to drive back home. And then Monday I'll be taking a sick day to hang out with them.
Well, now who's gonna take care of your kitty?
Yeah, we might drop her off at Kayla's parents, or we'll just have Kayla's parents come in to check in on her for food, and because they love coming over to play with her. Yeah, they were over yesterday for over an hour just hanging out. to play with the
Good.
kitty.
Good. Well, it sounds like you're doing just great. I just enjoy these talks with you so much.
Yeah, me too. I'll be able to do it next weekend as well because I'll finish with the book, but also that next weekend I'll be with my parents, so I don't know if I'll be free that weekend. So
That's right. Well then, hey, yeah, next week is okay, but not the next week, right?
yeah, I'll call you probably next Sunday again.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you take care. Drive carefully.
Thank you.
And don't fall with that climbing.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. I won't fall.
You don't want anything to happen now that you're planning this Mount Hood trip.
Right. You're right. You gotta take it slow, but I promise not to fall if you promise not to fall and take things carefully.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Okay. Okay. Take care. Do my best to kill it.
Okay, will do, Grandma. I love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.